If you want to improve your returns on either buying breakouts or pullbacks or any other method, and especially if you have a smaller sized account, this one particular thing which is going to dramatically change your returns, and that one thing which you should focus on is you should focus on stocks with low capitalization. Capitalization is very important in determining how fast a stock is going to make a move, whether a stock will make an explosive move or whether a stock is not going to make an explosive move. Now, typically, if you don't understand capitalization, try and understand what is capitalization. Capitalization is the total value of the company, which is determined by the current price multiplied by the outstanding shares. So capitalization of a company is capitalization is 1 billion. What it means is if you are buying out all the shares of the company, you will be for 1 billion you will be able to buy out. Now, if you study capitalization, you're going to find that all the big moves which happen in any given time period, they will be dominated by stocks with capitalization below 1 billion. And this you can check it out for yourself. And in order to do this and understand this, let's try and run a couple of like scenarios here and see what happens. And for that, let's go to TC 2000. And when I go to TC 2000, let's look at like say this is my list of stocks which I always trade, which is like like in a price about $3 and liquidity is 100,000. So now if you look at these stocks, and if you look at, say, if you sort them by year to date, which stocks have made the biggest moves, and if you look at all the stocks which have made, say, 100% plus move, so you have 72 stocks which have made 100% plus move. And let's take these stocks and put them in a watch list. So copy flag to a new personal watch list, and we'll just name it as like basically capitalization study number one. Okay. So now if you go and look at these stocks in this particular list, what you're going to find is that if you add a column capitalization and sort by capitalization and look at the capitalization, what you're going to see is that there is only three stocks which have capitalization above 10 billion, right? Nvidia, Meta, and DraftKings. These are the only stocks which have capitalization above uh, 10 billion. All other stocks have capitalization below 10 billion. And if you take away the top 10 stocks, which is approximately like 15% of the market, so 85% of the stocks have capitalization below 1 billion. You see the stocks which have made the biggest move. INZI, which is a biotechnology company, its capitalization is 290 million is the capitalization. And if you see from the beginning of the year, this stock has made an approximately 541, like 500% move, right? And 5 times it has gone up. So the capitalization at the start of the year was like in around 50 million, because after going up 5 times it's around 290 million, so it was around 55 50 or 60 million, right? So smaller capitalization stocks, again if you see this, the capitalization is 751, and at the beginning of the year the capitalization would have been like in a this 751 divided by 5 kind of a thing, right? See, if you see TO, capitalization is 628 million shares, 628 million. So this is an extremely important thing which you need to understand, that stocks which are capitalization below 1 billion, stocks with sub 1 billion capitalization are the one which are going to make the biggest move. The stocks which have very high capitalization are not going to be part of the biggest movers in the market. Sometimes you will get like once in a while you are going to get, but if 80% of the stocks have capitalization one below 1 billion or capitalization below 10 billion, yeah, as you can see, then if you continue to move or continue to focus on these larger stocks, which is what a lot of people are enamored by, and look at Google and Amazon and JP Morgan and things like that, that is not going to make a very explosive move, or its probability of making an explosive move is very, very low. So one of the simplest way you can improve your odds of making big money is to focus on smaller capitalization stocks. Now, why do people focus on large capitalization stock? If you are a large hedge fund, you have a lot of millions of dollars to trade. You're trading 50 million, 100 million account, then your problems are different. If you are not doing that and you're trading sub 1 million account, focusing on small capitalization stock is something which is going to dramatically change your returns, because that is where big moves happen. And you can see this by taking another example, and let's look at, say, a weekly, which stocks have made the most biggest moves for the week or in the last 5 days, and then see what happens to those stocks or what is their capitalization. So every day I run a study called like study 20%. And when you look at this study 20%, what you are going to see is that it is just looking for a stock which is up 20% plus in the last 5 days, and they are priced above $5, right? Now, if you look at today, you have 34 stocks which were up 20% plus in the last 5 days. And if you look at these stocks which were up, like say, so this was a stock which was up like or like say this is a stock which is up like almost a lot, right? What is the capitalization? 577 million is the capitalization, right? You look at all these stocks, and again, going to come to the same conclusion. Out of all these stocks, 34 stocks which made biggest move, you will see that there is not even one stock which has a capitalization about 10 billion. And this study is for this particular day, but if you want to see this study for, say, last 10 days, within last 10 days, and if you run the study, you have 227 stocks which made big moves. Now, if you look at these 227 stocks which made big moves, again, what you're going to find is that, are there stocks with capitalization above 10 billion? Yes, but there are 19 out of 277 stocks. So that's not even 10% of the stocks. All the other stocks which made the big moves have capitalization below 10 billion. And this is something which a lot of people, a lot of traders, especially the beginner traders or traders, are not really focused on. What they are focused on is finding a stock which has this much volume or this much dollar volume or this. The most important thing is the capitalization. Whenever you have a choice of breakouts and you want to prioritize a breakout, select the stock with the lowest capitalization. As simple a rule as that. Because lower the capitalization, bigger is the move, and very little money is required to move a stock which has a lower capitalization. If it is a capitalization below 1 billion or it has a capitalization below 500 million, 100 million can move the stock, right? If a capitalization of a stock, like say Tesla, uh, has a capitalization of 526 billion, right? Now, to move this stock, lot of money will be required. If for this stock to double, it will require 526 billion, or like some large amount of money or large amount of players will have to come to make it work for that. While when you are looking at a stock which is like has got a very low capitalization, it can move based on like a little buying coming in, right? And you have a stock which has a capitalization of, say, if you see, some of these stocks have capitalization of 23 million. So that's why they can make very explosive move. That's why this stock has made 94% move. It's not possible for a stock like Google, which has a capitalization of 714 billion, to make a big move, explosive move in a short period of time. So this particular phenomena where smaller stock make bigger moves is a very good thing for smaller accounts, because if you want to grow smaller accounts, where do you focus on? You focus on smaller capitalization stock. And in order to focus on smaller capitalization stock, there are simple things which you can do in TC 2000. One of the things which you can do is just add a column called capitalization. So every time you're running a breakout scan or looking at breakouts, you can see whether they have like basically, or like say if you're looking at breakout or bullish combo, right, and which is a scan which I run. So I can like sort by the lower capitalization and look at the stocks which are lower capitalization first, and look at the higher capitalization as a lesser priority thing, because something which has a lower capitalization is going to make a quick 20-30% move in 3 to 5 days, while a higher capitalization stock is not capable of. The other thing which you can do is you can add capitalization here. So on every chart, like whenever I see, supposing like and I say I saw this stock today breaking out, right, and basically now it has a capitalization of 1.3 billion. I can see the capitalization. In order to add this, all that you need to do is go to edit toolbar and go at the end of the edit toolbar, right at the end of edit toolbar. When you see this here, add and look for capitalization. So when you look at like in a capitalization, when you add capitalization there, and this is what I did. I added capitalization and changed the text color. And if you want to know, like, give it a suffix or a prefix, you can also give it a prefix or suffix. So you can prefix it by saying cap. So if you do that, you're going to get like, say, cap 1.3 billion, right? And that way, easily, when you're running a scan, when I run a scan like this, I see capitalization below 1.3 billion. To me, anything which has a capitalization below 10 billion is a good trading opportunity most of the time, right? And once in a while, I will also go into a higher capitalization stock. But like say today, JP Morgan is showing as a possible bottom bounce kind of a breakout, right? But when you see that JP Morgan, it has 395 billion capitalization. Probability of a 395 billion capitalization stock making 20% move is very low, while a probability of a stock which has a capitalization below 1 billion making 20% move is very high. So if you want to improve your if you want to improve your per trade profit, then focus on lower capitalization stock. Now, when you focus on lower capitalization stock, they are more volatile. So accordingly, your ability to get in them early or operating from a watch list and getting them through pullbacks or anticipation might help you in lowering the stops, because you don't want to be entering some of these lower capitalization stock on the breakout day can be up 20%, 30%. Now, if you start chasing these kind of 30% moves, then your stop will be too wide. But if you can do this with a systematically low risk kind of an entry, then higher capitalization stock is going to give you significantly more bang for your bucks than a higher capitalization. So lower capitalization is your friend if you have a smaller account.